Hey everyone, I got a question from a user who was asking about how they can import and use track attack for a session that is on a track where we don't have a track for that in our database. First of all, if you run into that situation, let us know right away via Facebook, Twitter, or email, and we'll get that track added. So again, one of the big benefits of track attack is that we have that centralized database where you open up the application, make sure you're signed in and that you've already synchronized at least one time and that downloads the latest track database. And if you open up the application and go over here where it says tracks, hit the tracks button, you'll see this huge list of a ton of tracks, and all the stuff is locked. So you go over there and you click on something and it doesn't let you edit it. That means that it is an official track, and by making it official and not editable means that whenever somebody imports a session, regardless of what data system they use, etc., all the data gets normalized to that track definition, and that means all the data is automatically comparable. Now, if you run into that situation where you're importing the session and you see that we don't have a track for, we don't have the track that you need for that given session, it's really easy. Let me just walk you through that. So you open up the track management window, which is this one here. Come over here and hit plus, so you add a new one. And on this one, I already know that the track that we don't have in the database is Dominion Raceways custom. So I'll just name it that. Hit OK. Go ahead and hit OK. And then go ahead and import the session that you are looking to associate with that track. So we got a few different sessions here. I'm going to hit OK. And then because the GPS data in the data file, we're not able to correspond that with an official track, what you'll see in the track drop-down list over here is basically all of the custom tracks that you've created locally for you as a user. So as you can see, I've only created one, so it's this one here that I just created now. It's the Dominion Raceways custom. You always want to go through and check to make sure that if there's any channels that we were able to detect that we weren't able to map properly. So I already did this before recording this video just to make sure everything works, and I already mapped the channels that we wanted properly. And I'm going to go ahead and import all, which we'll do is it'll basically apply the properties that I've set for the channels and the track and the driver, etc., all to the same, all to all the sessions that I'm importing. So I'm going to go ahead and hit import all. All right. As you can see, the session was imported and we have no lap, right? This is for all the session for each one of those files. Now I'm going to come over here to tracks again. I'm going to find that track that we created. There it is. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to hit edit. And so here, essentially what we're able to do is basically set the start, finish, and segments for each one of these tracks. So make this a little bit bigger for demo purposes. And basically, as you can see, as I scroll through this graph with GPS speed, it shows on the map where it is that the starting point is at. I'm going to go through. I'm going to find where the start finish point is, which is, I'm going to say it's about here. I looked at on Google Maps earlier, and I know that it's aligned to basically about that same spot. There's GPS drift in some of these tracks, so I'm going to say, let's just say for oops and giggles, that it's about right there. I'm going to click that. Now we've established the start finish line, and as you can see, the graph has changed. So now you can go through and you can either hit OK, and we're going to have laps for sure, or any subsequent click that you make here, it's basically creating segments. So why don't we go ahead and do that? And this is also a way in which you can go in and create custom segments, custom layouts, and ultimately custom segments if you don't like the segments that we've created for you in Track Attack. So one of the methodologies that I typically use is where we have some major braking zones. So I'm going to go ahead and click right about, actually I'm going to go to right about there. I'm going to go through this whole complex. That's a good segment there. Let's go all the way about there. All right, so now we got 1, 2, 3, 4 different segments. I'm gonna hit OK. And after I hit OK, what's happening here is that for all the sessions that the user has that have that track associated with it, it's going through and recalculating all those sessions and applying those start, finish, and segment time definitions to all those open sessions. So that's why you see everything working here pretty hard. We hit OK. And now, if you go back over here and look at those sessions, now we have lap times. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab the fastest laps from each one of those sessions, or any one of these laps really. And ta-da! We have lap times and we have segment times. We have all the channels that were available in the data files. And then, as we mentioned earlier, we have split times. So you can go through and do a split time analysis across all of those sessions as well. The last thing is you'll see down here at the bottom right that the synchronization process has kicked off. So what's going to happen now is that both the data file and the track definition are being synchronized. So if you end up sharing this session with somebody else, they will not only get the session but also the track definition as well. So they'll be able to see it exactly as you're seeing it here. All right, that's it. So as you can tell, again, with Track Attack, we make it super, super easy for people to import data by having a really robust and large track database. But of course, we don't always have every single track or track layout out there that exists. And now you know how you can go about creating custom track layouts and custom segments for anything that you need. Thanks.